Hey, it's Drybear. Killer Klowns from Outer Space, the game is out, so today I'm going to tell you everything that you need to know to get started in the game. Killer Klowns is an asymmetrical PvP game, and all that means is that the two teams that are facing off against each other are not equal. In this case, there are 3 clowns against 7 humans, and the teams could not be more different. And what's challenging about this game is it's like Friday the 13th, and that there's just a whole bunch going on, a bunch of items, a bunch of different objectives, a bunch of different maps going on, and you're gonna get a whole lot of this thrown at you right away, so it's actually quite overwhelming when you first start the game, so let's dispel that confusion right now. Now, because it is a new game and it's an asymmetrical game, for the matchmaking to be consistent and fast, they are not allowing you currently to pre-choose what team you're going to be on, so when you're queuing so that those pop quickly, you will be randomly placed on a team. And for this reason, you'll want to go to the main menu, go to customize, and set up your loadout for both clowns and humans so that you can keep things moving. When you first go to loadouts, you will be given an archetype or a class for each of the 2 different roles. All these change are going to be the stats on the right side of the screen. So as you can see, as I go through these 5 classes for the human side, my stamina goes down, my movement speed goes down, but I might get more strength or more health. This means that I can deal more damage with weapons, or I can run for longer, or I can run faster. And in some cases, if you're being chased by a quick clown, that extra movement speed can make a serious difference, whether you're going to stay and fight or get out of the way. All humans pick up their items in the game. They don't start with any, so you have to find them and loot them as you go along, so you can just customize your character based on how you want it to be. Now, clowns are a little bit different. They have an extra stat that will change between their classes, which is senses, but they also have stamina, movement, and strength, and health as well. And for this, you actually are choosing a little bit more dynamic on the classes here. You have Ranger, Tracker, Trapper, Tank, and Brawler, and a lot of these have very, very different stats. For example, the Brawler is the fastest one of them all and can catch a lot of the humans in a foot race very easily. But on top of that, because you are on the killer side, the offensive side, you will be selecting weapons that you'll bring with you as well. The first one is going to be your primary way to capture the humans. All of these will do a capturing mode that allows you to put the humans inside of a cocoon, and you can pick them up and put them on a hook or put them on a station. Without this, you will have to execute the human, and they will be able to revive themselves once per game, but you'll have to kind of choose between that, and they'll have their own different functions and personalities. You'll start with the cotton ray gun, and that's a decent one to start with as well, and as you unlock more through the progression, you'll be able to get more from that. Then you'll have an offensive weapon that you can use to damage the enemies, and all of these have their different bonuses, but this is where you have to fight. In this game, there's not a perfect line. This isn't cat and mouse between the offense and the defense. Both sides can actually perish. The humans can take out a clown, though the clowns will always respawn after 45 seconds, and the clowns can kill the humans, though the humans have one chance to revive a human throughout the game, and once that chance is gone, it is all over. Then you'll have 3 abilities to choose from. These unlock and are not locked by the class. At first I thought they were, but they aren't, so you can very easily change these based on the class you're playing and picking, and pick up some different ones there. Your clown jump is the one that allows you to teleport across the map, and lol is your personal stim that you use to heal and do some damage while you're going into a 1-on-1 skirmish with the humans. You'll either be put into a game that's already going, or you'll get to the lobby screen here that you'll be able to see. Keep in mind that matches are 15 minutes in length, so if you get placed into a match, you can see how much time is left, but don't worry, this game is kind of balanced in a way that even if you showed up 5 minutes in, you would still have a pretty decent chance of getting out if you know what you're doing as human, or as clowns, getting some points in there as well, so don't worry too much about that. Starting with clowns, when you first begin, the map will actually have Fog of War on it, and you'll see your abilities down there in the bottom right. Clowns have a natural progression in the game, which means that they start out weak and get stronger throughout the course of the map, just like the humans do as they unlock more and more items. So you'll have to either capture humans, kill humans, or do your personal objective, which is putting cocoons on this platform here. So as you run around the map, you will find these idle cocoons, and those are your non-PvP, your PvE objective, which you can see down there at the bottom. If the clowns get 16 cocoons onto the pedestal, which is irrespective of humans, they will automatically trigger the endgame collapse, and usually will win following that as well. So that's pretty important to do, and it's usually if the humans are hiding, and you kind of want some clowns doing that and some clowns going after the humans as well. So simply just find a cocoon on the ground, pick it up with the E button on PC, run it over to the platform, and put it inside so that you can actually put it on there. When you down a human, though, you have the chance to either execute them immediately, or you can use your pistol to put them inside of a cocoon so that you can place them onto the platform as well. So this player runs away. If you can get this bar up, which is kind of hard by yourself, but if you can get that bar up, they will enter one of these cocoons and you can place them on the platform. Now, it's an interesting choice for the clowns themselves. If you place them on the platform, it will count towards your progress moving forward. You'll get more experience from that, and you can create a point where the humans have to fight for you in order to actually, like, you have to come save that person, and you can fight an area like a capture point for yourself. However, you can also just execute them, and during the game, there will be one chance for humans to resurrect, and that is with the resurrection machine. It'll appear halfway through the timer on the screen, and once that's up and you can use it once as a player, it will resurrect all humans that are currently deceased, and then it'll go inactive for the rest of the game. So humans can, you could kill 6 humans, and then the last human can res them all at once, or you could res one person and it's down for the rest of the game. As game time goes on, and as you put cocoons on the platform, you'll unlock more and more abilities. You can see down the bottom right, I'm actually unlocked more of my abilities. Your first one is going to be your jump ability. When you press F on PC, you'll be able to teleport to anywhere on the map that the fog of war has been removed from. So you do want clowns clearing the map area. Like, this is playable, but no clowns have been there yet, so I can't teleport there. But you can use your F to quickly get around the map once you learn where everything is. So if I decide that I'm going to cover this area, you can just quickly teleport and cover this spot of the map. Your next ability is the other ability that's locked to your class, which is super important. This is your heal and stim. When you activate this, it's called LOL, LOL. You'll get damage, health, and a movement speed boost. It's great for winning brawls against humans and recovering HP if you need to. Now, your primary weapon is great for subduing humans, but it's also good for gumming up any objectives that the humans might want to interact with, which is their escape points or even the resurrect machine that appears later in the game. The humans will have 4 different escape routes that all require different key items to activate. However, as a clown, you can go up to them and use your primary weapon to cottonize them, which is basically like blocking them. So if you hit these and put them up to 100%, a survivor, a human, has to walk up to this and pull all the cotton off, which, depending on how much you've blocked this, it can take quite a while. So as you do this, you want to kind of keep an eye on these. The humans have the option of choosing any one of the 4, and they have to find the key items that are different for each of them, but you want to keep these blocked up if you want to kind of keep good pressure on the humans throughout the game. As you place cocoons down onto the platform, which is your PvE objective, you will spawn these called lackeys, which are these NPC little chaozus that will run around and jump on top of someone and try to subdue them, jump on their back. And as you get more and more of those cocoons on the platform, it makes it easier for you to crowd control the humans and keep them from moving around in the world. Now let's talk to the main part of the game, which is going to be the combat between clowns and humans. And the function is the same. Both clowns and humans have stamina when they run, and they both have HP when they take damage. When your HP reaches 0, as a human, you will be incapacitated and placed on the ground. And the same thing goes for clowns as well. So humans can actually incapacitate clowns while they're fighting them. The difference is that a clown on the ground cannot move while humans can crawl around. And when a clown is on the ground, their nose will start blinking. If you damage the nose as a human with either a firearm or a sharp weapon like a knife, the clown will be killed, and that timer, that 45-second timer for them respawning, will begin. So as a clown, you want to make sure you don't get knocked down using your ability and your teammates to keep yourself alive. And as a human, you want to down the clown and then finish them off with a sharp weapon or a firearm, or you could hit them like 5 times with a melee weapon in order to knock them out for 45 seconds. So let's see if we can actually start a fight with this guy so I can show you what I'm talking about. The one thing about the gun, the main weapon, is that unless you're really good at it, it's generally not going to be as good as 1v1ing people. It's for distance or controlling, and you want to use your melee weapon to kind of knock them out if you can keep up with them, depending on which of the clown classes you are. So when you catch up to a human, let's get some stamina here, close to them and start bonking them. And then as we get close, we'll probably want to just get this. If we get knocked as a clown, we can spam our input key in order to get back up, which does heal us and gets that bonus there. And then as these people get down, you can see how his nose is blinking. They ended up getting him with a firearm there. But what we can do is, if there's multiple clowns here, we can start trying to subdue them. If this bar fills up, they'll be put into a cocoon, just like that. And then we can pick them up just like a normal cocoon and place them onto a hook, which is super useful for you, gets you a lot of points there. So you're choosing between either your ranged, like non-lethal option to subdue them, or your melee option to knock them out. If you kill the human, they will be knocked out of the game until someone uses the revive mechanic. And if you subdue them, they'll have a chance to be saved. But while they're in this cocoon, they are slowly dying. I remember placing cocoons on these these platforms will charge them up and will also give you closer to your goal of winning the game, and will allow you to set up an opportunity to defend it as people come to try and save them. They can actually end their suffering early if they want by pressing a key, and of course you can defend this if you want, and the other survivors can either let them die and try to revive them with the revival machine or do some other shenanigans. You also want to be careful because as the humans get stronger and stronger, some of their weapons will start... I'm going to heal here. See if I can keep some distance. You want to play for time. If they go for melee, you might be able to back up and use a gun. If they go for a gun, you might be able to use your melee weapon on them, and you kind of choose which weapon is right for the situation, but you get the opportunity to kind of play back and forth with it. Keep in mind that they can eat items to heal themselves. They can use multiple weapons to take you out as well, and as you get better at the game, you'll be able to implement those to the best situation. Also, the more cocoons you hook up, the more lackeys you'll have running around, which can serve as a sense of CC. If they land on a player and they don't defend themselves, you'll get a notification in the world for where the human is, and if they get killed, you'll get a notification as well, which means you'll be able to react to that properly. Now, when you're trying to find humans, you have this ability that the tracker will initially get, but you can use it on anyone and it'll tell you where the nearest human is. But also there is a sound mechanic in the game for humans. If they are running or walking, they will leave these little sound pulses, like sonar pulses, on the ground. So all you got to do is kind of get near to where the humans are and you'll see that pulse going off. There are also hide spots that humans can jump into, and they won't be noticeable while they're in there. However, if you search inside and there is a person in there, you will rip the human out and they will be stunned for a couple seconds, which allows you to just go to town on them while they're being knocked. So if you're a human and you think that the clowns don't know where you are, you can jump inside a dumpster or a porta potty and try to escape them that way. So as they're running, you can see this pulse of sonar going off on where they are. When they walk, they don't make the same pulse, and they can also crouch walk as well, which means they're super silent. But you want to pay attention to this as you're trying to find humans that might be nearby, so you can keep track of them. And just keep in mind that both clowns and humans have stamina, so both of you can run out when you're trying to get into a chase. And of course, instead of putting them in the cocoon, you can finish them off with the Mori or the Clowntality, and this will put them in the dead state for the match, and then you'll have to wait for the resurrect option once that machine becomes available. Now, once you have a human in a cocoon, they can actually break themselves out if they do have a sharp weapon like a knife, so keep that in mind. So you may want to kind of watch them when they're in the cocoon and place them inside. You can still throw cocoons to move faster if you want to get through the area and the player is still in this cocoon, but you'll have an opportunity to play around that as well. And this here is the resurrection machine that can be used one time per game by the humans. It will res all the humans that are currently dead, and you can cottonize this as well, and you'll want to do so. It's part of the gameplay for the humans. Maybe they do get taken out early because none of the clowns are putting them in cocoons. They're just killing them all off, and then one human can come over, finish this off, resurrect everyone, and then run away, and it can cause a really big upset in the middle of the match, but it's something you want to pay attention to as a clown. And if you have humans that are playing really stealthy or really slow, you can obviously finish with the cocoons, but when the time hits at the very end of the timer, it's going to start the clownpocalypse, which will be an endgame collapse. If the humans don't escape before the timer ends, it will kill everyone on screen and grant the win to the clowns. So as your kind of backup option if the humans are playing really slow. Now, human is the other side of the coin. You have, as we mentioned, 4 different escape routes for escaping the game and getting out. So that will be shown here. When you press tab, your objectives are here, and it'll tell you what you need for each one. Each one needs 2 key items in order to activate, and keep in mind that each escape can only sustain 3 humans. So the damaged boat, if you repair it, only 3 humans can get on board and drive away. Same thing for the gated exit, the portal, and the bomb shelter. Once 3 humans have escaped through that method is now gone. The remaining humans will have to find a different one. So at the bottom of the screen, you can see the sound meter. If I'm crouch walking, I make no sound. If I'm walking, I make a little amount of sound. And if I'm sprinting, it goes red, and that's where you get those pulses, those sonar pulses for the clowns to find. So your goal as a human is to sneak around, go around the map, try not to be found, and look for specific items. Now, you can go over obstacles that clowns cannot. This includes windows and countertops. So you can actually go over these. Clowns can't do this. They have to walk everywhere they go, and they can't jump either. So you have the ability to do that. And you can either jump through that as well, which will make a noise. And if you have a door, you can actually close the door and lock it as well, which means the clown will have to break the door to get through. And in order to do that, they just have to hit it twice with a weapon or with their gun. So it's not too slow, but it is an opportunity for you to slow them down, making sure they have to hit the door without opening it themselves. Then you're just searching through the map, looking for items. Any food item will be a heal for you. Some of them increase your max HP back to natural as well, so you can heal up that way. You're looking for melee weapons to defend yourself in a brawl. You're looking for key items that allow you to open exits, and you're also looking for ranged weapons, which which can be useful from a distance, or healing items to keep yourself safe when you run into trouble. You also get distraction items like baseballs and tennis balls that you can throw. This will create a false pulse somewhere else that the clowns might react to, which is kind of nice, and you can do some minor damage with them as well in order to kind of deal damage to a lackey that might be crawling around or a clown. Another thing to keep in mind as well is that most loot in the game that's in like a self-contained container, like a box, will respawn after a while. So if you've already looted a building and you're later on in the game, you may want to check that building again, because anything that's like loaded like this will eventually respawn. And we got our first key item, which is the key card. If we hold tab, we can see that the key card is required to access the bomb shelter. So now all we do is need to find a jerry can of gas and use this key card, and we can escape through the bomb shelter. There's two types of melee weapons. There's two-handed and one-handed, and the two-handed always go in your final slot there, your number 4 in the bottom left. And in order to use a two-handed weapon, you can only have one of them at a time. So if you pick up another two-handed weapon like a baseball bat or a fire axe, it will replace your two-handed weapon. But they're all one-handed melee weapons like wrenches that you can carry in addition as well. And melee weapons are your best way of dealing consistent damage. Speak of the devil, here's a wrench. So we can have a wrench since it's a one-handed weapon, and then we can have a two-handed weapon as well. And this allows us to brawl clowns that might come our way. Also, if you run into a lackey, all you have to do is hit them once in order to kill them off. They will respawn shortly after, but it gets them away from you. They will only respond to sound, so if you make no sound, they won't come after you. But if they do jump on you, you have to break out by pressing left and right on analog or on the computer. The game has built-in voice chat, but no text chat, so if you want to communicate, you can use voice. But you can also use emotes like, hey, go over there, or interact that way if you want to try and communicate with your teammates. If you find a player in a cocoon or find cotton, you'll just have to interact with it in order to pull them out and get them out of it, and it's just a simple sequence of QuickTime events. We have a teammate that's been trapped in a cocoon here. We might be able to get a sneak up on this clown that's carrying them to try and surprise them and break them out of the cocoon. Free hit in the back might be good. And remember, you want to save your sharp weapons to actually finish off the clown once they're actually down or get owned in the first place. Oh, there we go. So his nose will blink, and then you can finish him off that way if you want to get some extra damage in. But they can also recover by spamming the space bar. See if we get some distance. I'm going to heal. Use a med kit while they fight. Clown popped his kill. There's no other clowns this way as well. Finish him off. Okay, so then you take a sharp weapon, hit them right in the face, and they're done. And then you can pick up other teammates or get them out of cocoons that way. Then halfway through the match, the resurrection machine will become available. The clowns can't see this, but the humans will, and a giant blue beam will go up over the resurrection machine so you know where it is. The pink ones show the modules where they put the cocoons, but the blue will be the resurrection machine. As you can see in the bottom right corner, there's one human right now that is dead. So if I walk up to this and use it, it will resurrect all dead humans that are not there, and it'll bring them back to life, and we'll kind of do that. So since we're kind of close to the end, I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. This shows the QuickTime events you get for any objective. It'll either be your primary or your secondary fire. On PC, that's mouse left click and right click. And so you want to just pay attention because it'll swap between the two as you're figuring out how to do them. And of course, perfect gives you more progress, but now that human that's dead will respawn. We'll get them back into the game, but this will then be destroyed for the rest of the match. It can only be used once. Another key item for humans is going to be the flare. When you activate this, it will show a marker on the map for all humans, and this is super useful for letting people know that you've activated an exit. Say you broke the bridge open or you activated the bunker, you can pull a flare out, throw it on the ground, and then it'll show the other humans on the map where it is, so you can have them gather and try to escape with you. If you're lucky enough to find a compass, this is an item that will show you where the exits are, which is super useful. So there's the bridge, over there is the exit next to it. Let's get rid of this naughty little lackey that's fighting us. So we can show this to bring up where the exits are, and this should show for the other humans as well. When the clown apocalypse starts, if the timer ends, it will kill everyone on the map, but there's also a secret escape route if you can find it, which is an ice cream truck that appears on the map, and you can find that as your final escape if there's no way for you to find a way out. But you're kind of on the timer here because you really need to be able to. There it is. So there's the escape truck. Let's see if we can get to it before we die. We have 26 seconds. So this is like your last ditch effort if the clowns are there. Remember, they can still teleport all across the map and catch you. And here's a clown now. I don't think I'm going to make this one, but we can certainly try. Is he going to gunk it? Don't gunk it! Yeah, and then you get out that way. If you found value in today's video, leave a like down below, leave a comment for the algorithm to help this video get seen by more people, and don't forget to check out my other channels for other content and other stuff and other things.